about you is that you have ambition to be great. My job is to coach you to get all that greatness out of you.
What is good, Fin Nation? What's good? It's your boy Reason, and welcome. It is officially, I don't care if it's preseason or not, it is officially the first Victory Monday of the 2022 season. Feeling good. Took yesterday, to ease up, to wind down, to gather my thoughts. I watched the game a few more times, really took it in, soaked it in. I've chopped up. We're going to do a little bit of a little mini film study. We're going to take a look at two special teams plays from Lynn Bowden, as well as every target he had in the game. We're gonna look at Lynn Bowden here because I'm going to be honest with you guys. As I've taken it in, I've just soaked it in. I officially, and I do this every Monday during the regular season. There's a lot of things when the regular season starts that you're not seeing now. They're going to start happening. We're including. I'm not going to do game previews for preseason games, just like I'm not going to do single post-game shows like I do on Mondays for this. That's why I'm doing takeaways and such tonight. But we'll get back into that when the regular season and the games that matter begin. Don't worry. The content that matters will come with that. But I wanted to take a look at Lynn Bowden, so we'll take a look at him tonight. A little bit of a mini film study. And I want to do what I did, and now I'll bring the jabroni the week back when we get to the regular season too. I do that every Monday as well, but I want to give out my game balls, and offensively, I'm going to give the game ball to Lynn Bowden Jr. because he should have had, two touchdowns. If better ball placement from Skylar Thompson, he would have had 2 touchdowns. Let's just say this: if Tua would have been out there, he would have had maybe 3. He probably would have got the fade too. And my defensive game ball, I got to give to Benito Jones. Benito, we mentioned it while I was live streaming, right? He was noticeable in the second half. And why I got to give him the game ball too is because he was actually being dominant in the run game too when he had the opportunity a few times, when he had the opportunity to. And if you remember Benito coming out again, let's go back. Everyone will remember me and EM Dolphin fan were very high on Benito Jones coming out of that draft. Remember, he was in our top 5 on our big board for defensive tackles. We were high on Benito Jones, and you saw he had such great ability as a pass rusher. And you were just like, if he got better as a run stuffer, because it's so rare to see a true nose that's a better pass rusher than run stuffer. And if it was like, man, if this guy became just an above average run stuffer with what he offers as a pass rusher, this guy's going to be a force. And you saw a little bit of it. So very encouraging stuff from Benito Jones. I'm going to give him my defensive game ball. Probably someone people wouldn't expect, but I'm going to give Benito Jones the defensive game ball, and I'm going to give the offensive game ball to Lynn Bowden Jr. That's how I saw it. Pretty good, man. But overall, how's everyone feeling? I mean, I got my first dose of NFL Plus Premium chopping up for you guys, and oh boy, I don't know how you guys were doing that. I mean, Game Pass International is what I use, and the regular season, all 22 is usually up quicker than it is on NFL Game Pass domestically for you guys in North America. Because, I fly to the UK and go and access Game Pass. And I don't know how you guys are putting up with this. I mean, now I found a new, easier way to get the clips. Shout out to the homie King of Finland and George for showing me how to do that. That's huge stuff. But, whew. Also, tonight, guys, 12 a.m. Eastern, Madden. Get ready to throw up your peace signs. Also, both fantasy leagues are officially full. If you would like to get put on a waiting list, because there is a waiting list for a third league, and you are still interested in fantasy, go ahead and email me at Phinside The NFL at gmail.com, but it is a waiting list right now. both leagues are full. On top of that, guys, save 15% off at Pick Six Apparel. Use code Phinside The NFL at pick6apparel.com. Go check them out. Great stuff. Smash the like button, subscribe if you're new. Already 257 of you in the room. So the Dolphins, because it hasn't obviously been announced to everyone, because there's no joint practices and there's no public practices. The Dolphins will be practicing this week, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. So tomorrow, Wednesday, and Thursday, I will be live after every day. The media will be there, so we will be recapping. So I will be live. So training camp is back for the next 3 days. Obviously, then they have the game against the Raiders. Shout out to the homie Justin for the $10 donation. Have you heard from TD? No, I have not. Someone hit me up about that quick 33-second video he put up. I texted him after I saw the video and just told him I was thinking of him, sending my well wishes and et cetera, et cetera. And I haven't heard back. So, man, everyone send your prayers and thoughts and well wishes to TD. Even I don't even know what's going on, and I'm not going to go digging around and trying to ask people what's going on, man. That's not my business. If he'll tell me, he'll tell me. But yeah. I have not heard back from him since I texted him after the night where he posted on Saturday. So thinking of you, bro. Hope you're good. Hope the family's good. The wife, the kids, hope everything is straight, bro. Hope you're good, man. But no, I have not heard from him. So we're all hoping and praying that everything is okay, man. So I don't know what it is, what's going on, but he said he was asking for our prayers. So I'll put football opinions and takes aside and give the man your prayers and your thoughts, man, if he needs them right now, which he clearly does, or else he wouldn't have told y'all he did. So appreciate you, TD. Hope you're good, man. Yeah. So this week coming up, we'll be doing, and another thing too, I wanted to plug, guys, check the description down below. The first 2 episodes of The Finish Line are live with me, Richmond Webb, and Mr. Ballgame on the Believe Network. It is also live on Spotify and Apple, but if you go down, there will be a link below. It'll take you straight to our homepage on Believe. You can check it out. Also in the description below, the first return episode of me and Neil Driscoll's podcast, Fin Too Deep, is live. Obviously, the second episode will be coming this week, and the third episode of my podcast with Richmond Webb and Mr. Ballgame will be coming. It's crazy that, man, we're coming up on 100 episodes with, I know we're like 30 away, but we're coming up on 100 episodes with me, Richmond Webb, and Ballgame. So great stuff. And shout out to the Believe Network for taking us on. And shout out to Dolphins Talk for hosting us last year. Wish them nothing but the best. So, yeah, a ton of stuff going on right now. I'm always delivering content now in audio form, in this form, where however y'all need it, always authentic. You know what I'm saying? So we're going to get into it here. We're going to start off. Let's start off, obviously. One thing I did want to talk about, actually, before we get into this, the corner situation. I know everyone is kind of worried about how the corner situation is shaping out. And this is part of the Patreon update that I posted today. You can check out the Patreon. It'll scroll below, patreon.com/Phinside The NFL had an update today. And one of the things that, I was told about the whole Mackensie Alexander signing today, and we'll get into it here in a second. That'll be the first thing we kick off with. But what I was told was that it gives them a lot of flexibility with Keon Cross. And because remember, the initial thoughts was he was going to be our backup slot guy, but they've liked what they've seen at boundary. They've been playing him at right corner throughout training camp and OTAs a little bit. They like what they've seen there. They like what they saw on Saturday. And adding a guy like Mackensie Alexander gives us a number 2 slot who can also fill in as a number 1 if Needham needs to move to free safety for whatever the case may be. Because remember, when Holland was out last year with COVID, Needham played free safety. We saw him playing some free safety during game 1. So, Mackensie, that's why they brought in primarily a slot guy. It gives them a lot of flexibility, right? It allows them to flex Keon to the corner if Byron doesn't start week 1. And it also allows them to push Needham to free safety if Holland misses a game or two, for whatever the case may be. So it allows them a lot of flexibility, right? So interesting stuff. What's going on, and just the movement behind the addition of Mackensie Alexander, because a lot of people are like, well, they didn't add a boundary guy, and Trill was seen as our backup boundary guy, right? And I do think Trill would have been starting over Keon Crossen at the boundary if we would have been going, but that's now Keon Crossen's opportunity with Trill out this year with the torn ACL. Prayers up to Trill Williams too, man. I mean, I think we all had hopes this year that man was going to step in and ball and fill a role, especially since we all know that Byron Jones's days as a Miami Dolphin are pretty much numbered, right? Like, the reason why he got this whole cleanup surgery in his knee was to guarantee his money, because like I've reported and like multiple, it was out there, the idea was JC Jackson in free agency. And you look at how much money we have now. We have almost $20 million in cap. The idea was JC Jackson and moving Byron Jones's contract. And that is no longer a thing, obviously. And so that's why he got that surgery, to guarantee his money, man. So Byron knows the writing's on the wall. He's gone next year, and it would have been a great opportunity for Trill to get some serious reps this year. And, maybe we would have had the in-house guy to walk in and replace Byron. Maybe that could be Keon Crossan too. You never know. But it would have been better than trying to spend draft capital, especially now that we got a draft pick taken away, because everyone who knows I wanted whatever our highest pick was between ours and San Fran. I wanted us to go corner to replace Byron, because I know the writing's on the wall and he's gone. So it is what it is, though, right? So, yeah, I mean, I'm heartbroken and I'm actually crushed for Trill Williams. I had big hopes, and I thought we were going to see big things this season from Trill Williams. So, man, I'm just hoping and praying everything is good. And I wanted to say too, the more you look back on the film and you rewatch the game, and I know we said this during during the stream, it was a good outing by Skyler, but man, he left a lot of yards on the field. And what showed up? What has Reason been telling all of y'all? What has Reason been telling everyone? His ball placement, accuracy, and touch on the intermediate to deep level needed a lot of work coming out of Kansas, and you saw it. You saw it. You saw a lot of yards left on the field because he wasn't throwing with anticipation. He wasn't bucket throwing. He wasn't leading receivers into the yardage. So hopefully he continues to work with it. Other than that, it's still a damn good showing for his first professional action. I'm not taking anything away from the kid. No knock on him at all. I think he's legitimately going to push Teddy, especially with Teddy's ailment right now and what he's got going on. So, I do like what I saw from Skyler, but clearly still room for improvement. And hopefully he continues to work on that stuff, because it was stuff that, you saw in this Kansas tape. So let's keep it moving forward with him, because I'm going to tell you right now, if you can turn Teddy into a fourth or a fifth, and you can eventually turn Skyler into a third or a fourth, that's good movement, man. That's good. It's always good to produce quarterbacks, because other teams, hey, the Patriots showed you other teams will pay. Other teams will pay a premium. So, and no, Robert, I don't think we carry three quarterbacks with the fullback math, with the fact they want to keep an extra linebacker. This roster math is going to be wonky this year, and I don't think keeping three makes a ton of sense. So, I mean, we'll see how it works out, but I don't see, and that's the thing. Hey guys, was I not the first one in this community posing the question to all of you about the Teddy Skyler conundrum? What do you do? And now everyone's seen him a week of, joint practices, and now a week of, his first preseason action. Now it's a real question. What I was asking all of you guys is now a real question everyone's asking on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube. Now it's ever being discussed about. But I told y'all a couple weeks ago, this was a real possibility. And now everyone wants to talk about it because this is a real conundrum for this team. So it's going to be very, very interesting to see how it all plays out, especially with Teddy's health right now. So we'll see how it all goes on. Reason Damas. No, not Reason Damas. It's just, I hate to, double entendre here a little bit, but logic and reason. You see how Skylar's performing in camp, right? Whether the reports or through him actually seeing at camp, again, I get sent all this video, so I've seen all these throws, all these 1-on-1s and 7-on-7 and 11-11 throws all these guys have been making. I've been watching them without even having to go to camp. And then you talk to people who are in the know, however you want to call it. And you just start putting it together. It's just, elementary, my dear Ronnie, elementary, so it's going to be interesting. Going to be interesting how it goes. And tomorrow going to be really interesting, boys and girls, because tomorrow we do the old Joey Gladstone cut it out. And we are knocking down to 85 roster spots tomorrow. So tomorrow will be, very interesting. You're already seeing guys starting to fall off right now on other teams. So, and I don't know if you guys are really even keeping up with a lot. The Cleveland Browns lost their backup center today. Yes, Deshaun Watson's out, missing everyone in practice still, but they lost. Now they lost their starting center and their backup center. The JC Treader is just a phone call away. Holy jeez. So, I'm going to tell you this much. I basically got confirmation today that they're not bringing in anyone to compete for starting time with Connor Williams. I didn't even put that in the Patreon because, I literally was talking to someone. I said, I get the feeling that, I've come to terms with the fact they're not bringing anyone to compete for starting time at center. And I was basically told they weren't planning on doing it once they signed Connor Williams. So take that for what you will. That's what I was told today. So we'll see. But, if anything, they're going to be bringing in, basically look for it to be a backup. Connor Williams is not going to be shifting to left guard. They're going to be bringing in a back. We already knew this, though. Come on. Look at how quickly they moved on filling Trill Williams and his spot compared to when Dieter was down. They're like, give Cole and Panky some reps. You're rolling with what you're rolling. And I'm going to tell you, when I went back and I watched again, guys, maybe I'll clip it up tonight and we'll show it tomorrow. You know what? I'll do a little film study for you tomorrow, guys, too, as well. I'm going to show you what I was talking about, okay? I'm going to clip them up for you guys tonight. The issues and the worries I have about Eichenberg and his anchor, they showed up on Saturday night. All right? And they showed up now that I could actually sit here and I wasn't streaming and I could focus, and just take it all in. Those issues showed up. Those issues showed up 110%. 110% we saw those issues. And he wasn't even in for a ton of reps. We're going to go over the PFF grades and everything tonight, too. He wasn't even in for a ton of reps, and you saw the anchor issues that I'm telling you all about. And here's the scary part. This is what should worry everyone. And this is why I'm sitting here like, oh, here we go. Their starters and second string guys were on the bench. They didn't even start them. I mean, this wasn't against Vita Vea and Akeem Hicks and et cetera, et cetera. This was against Jabroni A, Jabroni B, and Jabroni C. That's the real worrisome thing. And so I'm like, they're not even up against their starters. They benched the number ones and the twos from the front to the back. Remember the secondary? They benched the ones and the twos as well. That list was like that long. It was longer than Santa's naughty and nice list. It was ridiculous. So I've seen Eichenberg get put on his ass by threes and fours. Because again, go look at who they kept out. Their first and seconds were out. Their first and seconds were out. Their ones and twos were out. We're talking third and fourth string guys. We are not talking ones and twos. And clearly, they knew we were going to be running the ball a lot because that's what they honed in on. But again, we're talking threes and fours here. We're not talking ones and twos. Kinley actually looked impressive. Again, I went back and I saw, I won't say impressive, but he looked okay. You know, play like I saw when you were live, when you saw him pulling. It was okay stuff. Kinley was okay. He showed. I'm telling you, that guy loses 20 pounds. Kinley loses 20 pounds. If that guy dedicates his body, it dedicates the work to his body, you got something with Kinley, man. That year one was not a fluke. If he works on that body, you will have something. That man just needs to shed the shed. That's all he needs to do. Like, he even pulled decently. That's why when you go back and watch the stream, I'm like, oh, look at Kinley pulled. And he was okay at it. But if that man loses some weight, he'll become even a little bit more fleet of foot. And he can go from like below average to average at pulling to probably above average. Average to above average with his, I'll take that. That guy moves bodies. So, we'll see. We'll see. You know, that's why it's so key. Look at Austin Jackson. Austin Jackson in this offseason, look at how he's slendered down. He's lost almost 20 pounds. Austin Jackson put in the work in the offseason, right? And then when you leave after OTAs, you got to keep up putting in the work. So when you come back to camp, look, and everyone's raving about Austin Jackson, and he put in the work on his body and lost the weight. And it took one offseason. He lost almost 20 pounds. Slender down, he looks fleeter of foot, etc., etc. So, you know, and he's a great athlete already, right? Like, the reason why Hunt can sit around 320 and 330 is because he's a better athlete than Solomon Kinley. Right? You saw it in his collegiate tape. You've seen it now. He's a better athlete. He's got quicker feet. So, you know, he can afford to be a little bit heavier. Now, should he lose a little bit of weight? Sure. But, that's the reason why a guy like Hunt can keep the weight a little bit more than a guy like Solomon Kinley. Kinley doesn't have quick feet. Kinley's not a great athlete. So, he just needs to lose some weight, man. He loses some weight. He gets down to like 315. We're rolling. We're rolling with him at 315. We're rolling with him at 315. So, just lose the weight, man. I'm telling you, he can be something real good. He can be something real good. But Austin Jackson, Austin Jackson's put in the work. And, I know his performance was just okay, but just okay is a lot better than what he's given us lately, especially since it was on a small sample size. Again, I told y'all this was going to work. He's going to work at right tackle. I'm telling y'all right now. From the moment we brought in McDaniel as a head coach, from that moment, I said, that is our right tackle. And here we are. So I'm here for it. You don't have to spend more capital on it. We need these guys to work. So we're not trying to spend more money or capital on it. So let's get into everything today. Let's start off with obviously the I guess are we gonna call it big news? Let's talk at the roster move news of the day. The Miami Dolphins they made 2 moves actually by the end of it. They went out and they signed cornerback Mackensie Alexander, defensive tackle Niles Scott, and Trill Williams was officially placed. He was officially placed on IR, ending his season effectively, right? So, Mackensie, again, I talked about this a little bit. I'll talk about it again. Primarily a slot guy, obviously. Had a rough year last year. But all the DBs got cooked in Minnesota last year. He gave up 4 touchdowns and 117.1 NFL passer rating when he was targeted last year. And he also gave up about 12.2 yards per reception, 685 yards total on 56 receptions. Had his highest, completed reception percentage when targeted of his career at 72.7%. Obviously, primarily a slot guy. This gives us slot depth, which allows us to use Keon Crossan out on the boundary now with the Trill Williams injury. And also, if Nick Needham needs to move to safety in a package or whatever the case may be, that allows him to move up and him to move into slot. So it just gives them a ton of flexibility. And they also today worked out corner Rally Texada, but obviously they didn't go ahead and sign him. I mean that's pretty much a given, right? So now, with specifically with Niles Scott here, obviously this is a guy who's played for the Bengals. I believe he's played for the Tennessee Titans as well. For some reason they're not liking the total depth on the interior. Not really, not really grasping, because I liked what Ben Still and Benito Jones showed. He's been in the league since 2018. So for the most part, it's just a practice squad guy, right? This is just that's all he's really been. Now I know in 2018-2019 season with the Bengals is when he actually got some reps. But he's not really been much, and he hasn't really produced at this level. So I mean, this is a guy who hasn't gotten heavy snaps since 2018. Do I expect him to make the team? No, he's the definition of a practice squad body. So but the sad thing here too is obviously Trill. Shed it, like my boy Trill is out for the season. I had high expectations for Trill. Had super high expectations for Trill. Absolutely crushing to see him. But I actually like our nose depth. I'm gonna tell you, like, I gave Benito Jones my game ball on the defensive side, so I liked what I saw, in terms of depth wise. So we'll see how it plays out. But Mackensie Alexander, veteran slot option. Is this a game changer? No. But again, like I've explained, it allows us a lot of flexibility by adding, a guy who can step in if we need to move Needham to safety, and allows Keon to flex to the boundary right now with the Trill injury. Remember, this was a 2nd-round pick, 54th overall, former Clemson Tiger. I know the last Clemson Tiger we had, Cordea Tankersley, he had that one good season and then he sizzled out. But if this guy finds his 2017 to 2020 form, we'll be okay. And maybe he's just another pleasant surprise in this defense. I just I like the move. I like the addition. He has some decent film. Last year was an anomaly because that Vikings defense was just pretty bad. I think it's a good depth move, and the flexibility it allows you, I'm a fan of. Again, is this tipping the needle? No, but I like it. I'm here for it. And you know what? I'm going to say this. What if we get you know, what if we get his best play out of him? Right? If you remember last year, you know, not a lot of people had high hopes for what's his face? Justin Coleman. Remember? And Justin Coleman had a great year for us last year. So if Mackensie Alexander can have a Justin Coleman type of resurgence in this defense, I'm here for it. I'm here for it. Also, shout out to Jesse Davis for the guy got a 4.7 blocking grade. That's hilarious. But yeah, if Mackensie Alexander, if we can get Justin Coleman out of Mackensie Alexander, hey, it's a win. And it's on the cheap. So you're not going to hear me knock it. All right. I'm a fan. I wanted to go over this with you guys. We do it in the regular season, so might as well pop it up right now for you. The PFF grades. Let's go over the PFF grades for the Tampa Miami game. So offensively, this is how everyone graded out. Lynn Bowden ended up being the top graded guy at 92.2. Cedric Wilson was an 83.4. And shout out to my boy Albert Wilson Jr. in Minnesota for catching 2 touchdowns. Speaking of Wilsons, Trent Sherfield was a 76.6. Tanner Connor was a 75. Mohamed Sanu was a 73.5. Gesicki was a 71.3. Austin Jackson was the highest graded lineman at a 68.3. Jared Dokes, 67.5. Skylar Thompson came in at a 61. And then your lowest graded guys, Keon Smith, because it showed up. That guy was a disaster at right tackle. He had a 32.8. Oh, my God. Durham Smythe had a 35.6. Hunter Long had a 36.1. Blaze Andreas had a 42.8. And Michael Dieter had a stout 43.5. And Liam Eichenberg had a 44.2. Whoo, that's painful, my friends. That is painful. Liam Eichenberg already in midseason form. Love to see it. Love to see it, baby. New position, midseason form. Love it. I'm here for it. And Dieter should be ashamed of himself that Adam Pankey had a better grade than he did. Oh, my God. Painful. Solomon Kinley, though. Shout out to Solomon Kinley for, being the third highest grade. And shout out to my homie Kellen Deesh on only 3 snaps, being the second highest graded lineman. Love to see it. Love to see it. So defensively, how did we grade out? Well, this is how we graded out. Elijah Campbell. Remember, I was the guy. Remember, I kept telling all y'all. Remember when he came off the pup list, I said, hey, he was our second best corner. He was our best backup corner last year. And this man comes out, snags an interception, and snags a 92.3 defensive grade. The tackling needs to be cleaned up, though. Channing Tindall, who showed a lot of promise, was actually really good in coverage. And the grade shows it. Coming in at an 86.9, your second highest graded defender. Duke Riley, who I said had a pretty damn good game, comes in at an 82.1. Ben Still, a guy who, remember, I picked him to originally be my defensive player of the game. He comes in with an 82. Cameron Good, who showed a lot in that game too, who quietly had a good game. He comes in with a 79. Benito Jones coming in at a 69. Nice, 0.2. Love it. And Ron McKinley right in the smack dab in the middle of there. You love it. Now your worst graded guys. Elijah Hamilton. Yep, we saw it. We saw that. We called him out. Calvin Munson. So Elijah Hamilton had 29.9. Calvin Munson had a 44.1. Brandon Scarlett had a 45.5. And Brandon Jones had a 46.5. Let me see if they rightfully. Oh, we'll look at it here. We'll look at it. Because, guys, that touchdown that we all gave, we gave Noah a little bit of crap for. When I went back and watched the play, that was on Brandon Jones. That touchdown in the end zone. That was Brandon Jones. I don't know now. Noah was way too off, even in zone, but Brandon was supposed to pick him up. and Brandon Jones didn't do his job on that play and kind of hung Noah out to dry. So when you go back and watch the play, you see it. So, but anyways, let's go into we do it for Tua, so let's do it for Skylar. We're going to the passing chart here. And then after that, I wanted to take a look at the coverage matchups and see how everyone did. So, oh, sorry, my bad. We'll go to passing direction here. Pressure and depth. So let me bring it out. I apologize. Yeah, it's here. Okay, so when you look at Skylar Thompson's chart, this is how he charted out. He was 1 for 1 on the deep left portion of the field for 33 yards. He was 2 for 2 on the deep portion of the field for 51 yards and that touchdown. He had a perfect passer rating to that side. On the intermediate level, in total, he was 2 for 5, so leaving something to be desired there. You saw some missed throws too. 2 for 4 over the middle. Now, on the short level, you like what you see, right? In total, 10 for 13, right? 3 for 3 to the left, 4 for 6 up the middle, 3 for 4 to the right. And then behind the line of scrimmage, he was 5 for 5. So when you chart him. So now pressure wise, when he was kept clean, which was on 58.8% of his dropbacks, he was 18 of 20 for 197 yards and a touchdown. When he was under pressure, he was 2 for 8 for 21 yards. Now, if you adjust his completion percentage, it would have jumped from 25% to about 33%. So now when he was blitzed, we still managed to keep him clean a little bit. Obviously, because when he was blitzed, he was still 10 of 11. Now you see, look at how effective he was on play action. 10 of 13, 153 of his yards came off play action. No play action, he was 10 of 15 for 65 yards. He only averaged 4.3 yards per attempt on non-play action and his touchdown. But on play action, he averaged 11.8 yards per attempt. See, anyone sitting there and saying, oh, he showed more than Tua's ever shown. If this guy's doing this, what do you think Tua's going to do? Tell me. And if you think Tua's going to be worse, you're nuts. I'm going to tell you right now, Tua's going to be shredding in this offense. Going to be shredding in this offense. So, very, very positive stuff when you look at what the game you got from Skylar Thompson, man. Pushing for QB2. I know us, man, when we drafted him and everyone was like, oh, he's coming for, and I was actually serious, facetious, and I was like, no, people got to worry about, him coming for Teddy, half joking, half serious, and now it's turning into reality is crazy for me. Holy. All right, so this is how our guys did in coverage. Now, Quincy Wilson, he got lit up in coverage, 5 receptions on 7 targets for 46 yards, 2 first downs, and he had a drop, so it could have been even worse. D'Angelo Ross targeted 7 times, 7 receptions allowed, 96 yards, 5 first downs, and a touchdown against D'Angelo Ross. Holy feasting. Elijah Campbell, he was targeted 4 times, allowed 2 receptions for 19 yards. He allowed a first down, but he had an interception and a pass breakup. So his 2, the 2 non-receptions was an interception and a pass breakup, making plays on the ball. Channing Tindall targeted twice, only allowed 5 receptions on 2 receptions for 5 yards. Duke Riley, he was targeted twice. He allowed 2 receptions. Calvin Munson targeted twice, allowed 2 receptions for 35 yards. Duke Riley allowed 3. Elijah Hamilton, he was targeted twice, allowed 28 yards and a single first down. Keon Crossan was targeted twice. He allowed 1 reception for 22 yards and that first down to Tyler Johnson, who was just eating off everyone. Noah Benogany, they did charge the touchdown to him, eh? So Noah targeted twice, 2 receptions, He allowed they charged the touchdown to him, but what it was supposed to be was Brandon Jones was supposed to take him underneath, and they're supposed to bracket him, and Brandon Jones didn't do his job, and so that's what happened on that touchdown. Both should be charged for it, I guess, but they charge it to Noah here. Brennan Scarlett allowed 1 reception on 1 target for 10 yards and a first down. Trill Williams, look at this man, allowed 1 reception for -5 yards. Love it, and they got hurt. Tino Ellis, 1 reception allowed for 1 yard. Sam McGuavin, 1 reception for 15 yards and a first. Cameron Good, he allowed 1 reception for 4 yards. So yeah, they didn't charge Brandon Jones at all. So that's how the coverage shook out. Overall, Tyler Johnson gave everyone problems here. I mean, look at Tyler Johnson, 90.3 grade against Quincy, 90.3 grade against D'Angelo Ross. Who else was he targeted against? 90.3 grade against Keon Crossan, 90.3 grade against Noah Benogany. You know what I mean? Well, that was his offensive grade for the game, right? I think. But, you just out here killing dudes. Tyler Johnson was just a man possessed. So, shout out to Tyler Johnson for getting it done. Now, I know a name that popped up with a lot of people in terms of, options at corner we should be looking at was Joe Hayden. And Drew Rosenhaus was on local TV out there, and this is what he had to say on Sports Extra regarding the Dolphins and Joe Hayden. I thought this would be interesting for you guys because it doesn't sound like Joe Hayden's a possibility for the Dolphins, and that's why they moved to
potentially trying to trade for a corner or even sign one off the street. Drew, you represent Joe Hayden. Any interest there from General Manager Chris Greer?
Joe Hayden, I've talked to the Dolphins about Joe throughout the offseason, but more about Byron Jones. If Byron Jones wasn't able to come back. Joe Hayden, if he signs with the team, it's going to be a starter or at least a third corner. So I'm not sure.
Ooh. Oh, it broke down. So basically, you heard what he said right there. He said they're only looking at Hayden as a starter or a third corner, not as a third corner. Or as a third corner. And right now, obviously, with what they like with Keon Crossan and everything, I don't think they're going to pay him. So the key wording was there that they liked him more as Rosenhaus is looking to get him paid as a starter, basically. So Joe Hayden, as much as he might be like in his early 30s, it doesn't look like that's a realistic possibility for us. So that's a name you can pretty much scratch off your list if that's a guy you were looking at. So I that's a name people had asked me about and emailed me about and DM me about. So I wanted to show y'all what Rosenhaus had said. Right. Now, next thing here. Let's get into this Lynn Bowden thing. I want to show you guys these clips here with Lynn Bowden because I took the all 22. We went over it, and let's show you guys what we got here. All right. All right, so we're going to full screen this for y'all. And what I did here, guys, was, we've got 2 special teams plays, and, we've got all 4 of his targets to go over here for you. So, because you know what, I was actually kind of impressed with Lynn Bowden's game a little bit here. So I wanted to take a look at it with y'all. So here's that 26-yard kickoff return he had. You're gonna see him. He just comes out like a blur, and a great return there. Gets extra yardage and fights for it, 26 yards. And the reason why I wanted to show that before we get into the next play here, the reason why I wanted to show that was just to show you guys that, and we'll have his punt return. I think and we'll get into my takeaways in a sec, but he's vying for opportunities here. Okay. He's vying for opportunities. He needs them. And he needs them for all of us so he can get some special teams work, and we don't got to rely on Jalen Waddle and Tyreek Hill because I don't want to put our stars in compromising positions here. So anyways, let's start off with this. So Dolphins are an 11-man personnel. You see a cover 6 look there from the Bucs. Cover 4 to the bottom side, cover 2 to the top right side there. Boundary is on the right. Bowden is on the right boundary here. And so watch Bowden here. What he's going to do is he's going to suck the defender in with a stutter and stab like he's going to run a dig. And the defender is just going to totally get confused, get turned inside out. And then Bowden is going to complete the fly route here. So check this one out. The stutter step here is unbelievable. Look at it right here. Sell that dig right there. He's gone. Look at that. Wide open. Show you one more time. So let's bring that back here. Watch this one more time here. Watch him get to the top. And he's going to sell with a little stutter and stab step. He's going to sell the dig. And he's going to take off. Right there. Ooh! Gone. Wide open. No one around him. Absolutely beautiful stuff from Bowden. When I was getting told he had no juice in practice, I was absolutely sad because everyone knows I expected him to be wide receiver 4. I expected him to have Eric Ezukanma at wide receiver 5. You know, and from everything coming out of camp, it was the opposite. So you look at this again one more time. Look at that jab. Ooh! Come on. That stab and stutter, that body twitch. Lynn Bowden, you beast, you animal. Oh, unbelievable stuff right there. All right. Dolphins are now in a 21-man personnel I formation. We got a double receivers to the left side here. Bucs are showing a single high cover 1-man look. Now, Bowden's in the slot here, and the defender over top of him right there is going to blitz, which is going to be immediately picked up by Ethan Carter, who motioned to become the fullback in this I formation. So let's watch it here. The Dolphins are going to run a play action dagger concept. And watch what happens. The safety, watch that safety. That safety is coming over top for some reason. I'm going to pause it right here. That safety is coming over top for some reason to take away Preston's route. And now you see him, he's realizing, oh God, I gave the middle of the field to Bowden on this deep through route. And he's wide open. You vacated the middle of the field, and this deep through route has left it wide open. And let's be honest here, as a hit play, better ball placement sends Bowden to the house here. And that's just what it is. Yeah, we'll bring it back one more time on that play. But better ball placement sends Bowden to the house. This is a throw. 2 is sending Bowden to the house on this. I don't know what else to tell you. So again, you got the 21-man I formation look right here. Single, got the single high cover 1-man look from, and look at that safety. Totally bite and vacate the middle of the field on the deep through route, and Bowden is gone. So that's that play action dagger. Shanahan offense loves that play. Better ball placement. Bowden's still running like Forrest Gump. So now we got Dolphins again in a 21-man personnel I formation. This time the doubles are to the right and the tight end is on the left side. All right. So now the strong side is the left. So the Bucs are going to fall into a single high shell, showing a ton of pressure coming towards the Dolphins here. And Bowden is simply going to swing behind the line of scrimmage here, and he's going to leak out off the left edge. And Skylar Thompson is going to come off that play action bootleg and just do a forward shovel toss right there. Here comes that forward shovel toss. Completion. Bowden keeps fighting, stays upright. Look at that man is not a huge man, and it took $3 to take him down. Tell me Bowden isn't leaving his heart on the field right now. Blood, sweat, and tears, my friends. Love what I'm seeing from Lynn Bowden. Now, all right, now the Dolphins are an 11-man personnel with a 2x1 receiver set. Thompson's in the gun. Gaskins to his left. So Thompson's going to throw the fade route to Bowden here at the top of your screen. And it's going to hit Bowden in the chest, but the throw leads Bowden out of bounds. And it's another near touchdown. Better ball placement here. And that's a touchdown. I mean, I don't know what else to say. Better ball placement here, and that's a touchdown. He's got him, but he leads out of bounds. And, he let him out of bounds with the throw. He was tracking the throw and then let him out of bounds. Don't know what else to say. You got to throw that inside. So, now here's the punt return. And this is a great punt return by Lynn Bowden. And this is another reason why he deserves more opportunities. Look at this. Look at the return here. Up the right side. Look at this. Whoop! Whoop! Look at this. Come on. Come on. Why do we need to put Waddle and why do we need to put Tyreek Hill on the field in those positions when you've got a guy who can return and offer you something here? Sure, he's not a burner, but he's got the vision to see the holes. I'm just saying. So I liked what I saw from Lynn Bowden. He got my offensive game ball. I'm handing it out to him. So, I mean, that's just where I'm at. I liked what I saw from Lynn Bowden Jr. yesterday. On Saturday. The fight was there. He offered us something on special teams. I like what I saw from Lynn Bowden. He deserves more opportunities. He deserves more opportunities. But I'm going to vouch for Lynn Bowden Jr. So that's where I'm at. Now, let's get into my 5 takeaways from the game. Now that we've gone through the film, looked at the grades, talked about it a little bit. My takeaway number 1, Noah Igbinoghene is who he is. I don't think you're going to get starting quality production out of Noah Igbinoghene. We are now into his 3rd preseason, heading into his 3rd regular season. I'm still waiting for him to make a play. Elijah Campbell's made plays. Trill makes play. Everyone else they brought in makes plays except this guy. I'm still waiting for Noah to make a play. He is who he is. That's it. Nothing more, nothing less. And the conundrum you find yourself in now, with the word of the day, the more reps you're putting on tape, the more you're killing this guy's value in a team willing to trade something for him. Period. He is who he is. And guess what? We can't afford to let him develop because we're getting cooked when he develops. You can't afford, you can afford to let him develop in the preseason. Can't afford to let him develop in the regular season. He's getting cooked. Fact of the matter is, you are now into your 3rd season as an NFL player. It doesn't just go for quarterbacks. It goes for players at every position. You have a good idea of a player's ceiling and trajectory after year 3. Not very good when Austin Jackson has flashed more than you have. And we all know what a disaster he's been. But at least he's giving you something tangible. So I don't want to hear, he only played defensive back in college for a year. Oh, he's still 22. So what? You're supposed to wait till he's 25? You're supposed to get cooked on the corner till he's 25? You're supposed to take up a roster spot with other guys who are further ahead in their game because he's young? This isn't free passes clubhouse over here. You're into your 3rd year as a pro. Production needs to start. Period. That goes for anyone, not just Noah Igbinoghene. So I don't want to hear those are excuses. Those are not context to the situation. Those are excuses. Because there's plenty of guys who are into their 3rd year in their early 20s And they're damn good. He hasn't even given you okay. So, Noah Monogany is who he is. And ball game, I will be collecting on our bet by the end of this season, and I want it all in ones. I'm telling you right now. Noah Monogany is legitimately on the roster bubble, people. That's a fact. So, all of you that want to defend him and wear your rose-colored glasses, knock yourself out. But when he's cut and when he's gone, I don't want to hear nothing about, oh, he's 22 or you. Do you know why they converted him to DB from receiver? Because he had zero ball skills. What has he shown as a defensive back? Let me think. Zero ball skills. He is who he is. Takeaway number 2. Passing game is clearly ahead of the run game. This is something I put in the Patreon, in one of my Patreon updates a couple weeks ago. It is what it is right now. Also, that was just a very small vanilla sample size. We saw a vanilla offense. We didn't have all of our starters in there. Taron Armstead wasn't in there. Chase Edmonds and Raheem Mostert weren't in there. So, but the passing game looked ahead of the run game. But this is something I've been hearing privately behind the scenes anyways. So, hey, you saw Skylar flourished in it. And the passing game looks like it's going to be really exciting this year. And god damn, that was a breath of fresh air. And, takeaway 2 leads into takeaway 3 for me. You saw it in some of those Lynn Bowden plays. Space and separation will be a theme for this offense with the conflict they are going to create at the second and third levels. I mean, we're talking about an offense where, I posted on Twitter, right? We saw in this game what Shaq Barrett was talking about, where you got to be disciplined with your eyes. They were running out of the same formation, completely different things out of the same formation. I posted a clip there of 3 different plays out of the same formation: a run to the left, a run to the right, and a passing play. And all they're doing is setting you up with these keys. They're setting you up for false keys, man. Something I've been talking about. It's 2 words I've been saying on this channel for quite some time, and now we're actually seeing it in play because we have a smart offensive staff. We are setting teams up with false keys, and we're going to kill them off of it. And space and separation will come off these false keys, and you already saw a little bit of a dose of it. And what should be so encouraging to everyone is that was a vanilla offense. They weren't opening things up yet. They were not opening things up. So, it's gonna be beautiful stuff. Well, we'll see as it continues on. But man, someone said watch Noah's Auburn tape, brother. No one's watched more Noah Auburn tape than I have. I'll give you a game to go watch. Go watch him against Van Jefferson in Florida. And now go watch him as a pro. You see more of Noah Monogany against the Gators than you do of Noah Monogany against LSU and Alabama. So I've seen it. Go watch his Gator game. Then come talk to me. So space and separation is definitely going to be a theme for this offense. And hey, again, we only saw the vanilla stuff. That's got to have you excited. It's got me excited. Number 4, McDaniel's play calling looks promising. Even with the run stuff that got stopped, I like the flow he was setting up. Everything he was calling had purpose to set the next play up. When you go back and watch, I like McDaniel's play calling. I think it looks very, very promising. 10-17 man dropped it. Noah's a slow blinker, not Tua. There you go. McDaniel's play calling, I gotta rave about it. It looks very promising right now. We are going to be keeping defenses on their heels on their toes, on their continuously guessing. They're going to have disciplined eyes. It's going to be very, very, oh man, I'm telling you, I am excited for this offense. I am very, very excited for this offense. So, we'll see how it all goes. But man, McDaniel's play calling, loved what I saw from the first outing. Love to see him continue to build on it. The future of this offense is in good hands. That's just what it is. I don't know. I just that's the future is bright. So bright we got to wear our Dolphin shades. So I'm really encouraged by the play calling. And then you saw it from the clips. Takeaway 5, Lynn Bowden deserves more opportunities. I don't know what else to say. Keep showcasing him in these preseason games when you can. Like, give him the opportunities on special teams. Let him show he can be our return guy. Please. All of us, we don't want to see Jalen Waddle or Tyreek Hill out on that. It's okay if it's here and there when we need to tilt the field. I'm down. But on a regular basis, I would love a guy like Lynn Bowden to solidify that wide receiver 5, wide receiver 6, wide receiver 4 job and lock him in as a special teams guy. I like what I saw. I showed you a punt return and a kick return that should pretty much give us some hope. So that's where I'm at. I really have a lot of hope. A lot of hope with what's going on here. So, love it. Love it. Love what I saw from Lynn Bowden. And those are my 5 takeaways. When we get back to the regular season, I'll get back to my previews, and I'll be adding my 5 takeaways to my post-game recap shows. I'll be adding 5 takeaways to that. And that's something I'll be doing regularly through the preseason as we set up. All right. And finally, guys, something I just wanted to show you guys here, in case you didn't know. 2 Dolphins made the NFL's top 100. So starting off first, Jalen Waddle was the 63rd ranked NFL player after one season. Love to see it, to be honest with you. When I saw Mac Jones at 85, ranked higher than Kirk Cousins, I threw the list out anyways. But I'll take Jalen at 63, even though I think he's better than that. I ain't gonna be a homer. I'm gonna tell you all what it is. Stetson O, my friend, check your email. I sent you a link. You are the final person to join fantasy, so go ahead and hit that fantasy link, bro. We need you to join so we can set a draft date for the league, my friend. Yeah, 63rd ranked. I'm taking it. I'm down. Now, in terms of, the next player that made it, I think they snuffed him a little bit. I think they snuffed him a little bit here. So me, I think Xavier Howard should be higher than 56, but they ranked him 56th overall. So, I think he's higher than that. I mean, the guy's like top 3 corner in the NFL, and let's be honest, he's ranked 56th overall, but he can't even crack a 90 in Madden. I don't know what's going on here. So, anyways, guys, that's it for today. I'm going to be back tomorrow night. And they'll be back. They practice tomorrow, Wednesday, and Thursday. So be on the lookout for that. I'll be live tomorrow around 8 p.m. We are back to practice, and then we got again a preseason game at 7 p.m. with the Raiders on Saturday, and I'll be live for that as well. All right, guys. So as always, you already know what time it is, baby. Fins up all day, every day. I'll see y'all tomorrow, 8 p.m., baby.